Hello, welcome to Let's Talk About Everything and Nothing. Hablamos de todo y de cualquiera. Doing research on the internet led me to this analysis, which I modified a little to share with you. Let's talk about geopolitics and understand more or less what's happening in the world today, besides what you heard publicly. Is a new world order being born? Certainly not. Rather, we notice some disorder and chaos. We know that a new world order cannot be born of force of arms. Russia is probably learning this to its detriment with its war against Ukraine. We also know that a new order will not have been based on financial wealth, with all the manipulation it gives rise to, and the United States faced with a banking panic, the failed Silicon Valley Regional Bank, and possibly future bankruptcies, face this harsh reality for them. We know, however, that moral privilege, we know on the other hand that the moral quality of the country will count a lot in the new world order. This moral quality and this moral superiority, which has so often posed the United States as a source of lessons to the rest of the world, is disappearing or has completely disappeared, hence the birth of the BRICS. She's disappearing with a second episode of an already committed story. The first episode is a total illegal seizure of the assets of the Russian central bank and the equally illegal seizure of the assets of the famous Russian oligarchs. Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending oligarchs, a number of whom are hands and feet tied to a number of mafias. What is obvious is that due and fair process of justice, which was one of the fundamental assets of the United States, the security of private assets, and the respect of private contracts in the United States were brushed aside. It is just as serious that a fortnight ago, there was an alert to all the red princes, all those Chinese billionaires who thought it was good in the past to place part of their assets in North America, the United States, or Canada. Everyone should know that Vancouver is first and foremost a Chinese city where the children of the Red Princes study, invest, train for business, and develop their professional activities. This threat to Chinese assets is in North America. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars, is yet another attack on the moral superiority so often invoked by the United States. Quite simply, these red princes, these Chinese billionaires, have acquired their assets completely legally. Morally, maybe. They have legally placed their assets in American banks or international holdings. Amid a trade war with the United States, China has shown a very limited appetite for treasuries. In May 2018, its net purchases amount to 1,002 billion for US debt portfolio of 1,183 billion. In March and April, the country had been a net seller of these bonds. Nevertheless, it still holds the first place among foreign holders. Beijing has 7.9% of US public debt. In second place, with 1,049 billion, Japan broke off with 3 months of decline. Tokyo bought 17 billion net in May. Third, Ireland, which holds 301 billion in US Treasury bonds, is trailed by Brazil with 299 billion. The country has been pursuing a net purchasing policy since December 2017, and could overtake Dublin, whose position is mainly linked to investment of US groups established there. Clearly, any threat to the assets of the Red Princes is a looting operation. It's a robbery operation. It's an operation that is ruining this privilege that the United States has retained to be the safe haven, a place of security for all global capital and global assets. If the United States loses this moral superiority, they will have lost one of the only two factors that remain with them with the superiority of weapons. When we know how much American income and American wealth depend on this image of safe haven in the world, we can only fear that the United States will be tempted to make an increasing appeal to the only superiority they have left in the world, the superiority of weapons, force, and the greatest violence. Moreover, they were the first to use nuclear weapons, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, supposedly to end the Second World War. Their policies of shooting first and asking questions later, used until today, will not work. When we know the quality of defense of the Russians and the Chinese, we must fear the worst for the future of humanity. The question is, do we go to World War III, or will this belligerence privilege dialogue? We have talked about everything and nothing.